Season 3 of Bridgerton is easily the worst in the franchise. While it's not terrible, it's easily the worst, and it has me conflicted and confused because it could have been so good, but it was a pretty big letdown. So first I'll go into the positives, what I liked the most about this season, then I'll go about what I didn't like, and then I'll finally do my final thoughts. So starting off, the cinematography overall was pretty good this season. I know the last part I was a little harsh with the cinematography because some of the scenes felt a little flat compared to others in the past seasons, but overall I think it was a little dramatic. It does still have that wow factor. I don't know if a director of photography by name at this point, but they use a lot of white shots that really kind of capture that spectacle. So like with the ball scenes and then the butterfly scenes, those all kind of came to life pretty well. And a lot of the color grading still on point with the Bridgerton family kind of always in this blue and Featheringtons. And overall, like, the cinematography did look great. So that was definitely a plus there. So let's talk about the chemistry in this season. The chemistry is on par. It's up here this season. The family just gets along so well, and some of the banter scenes between, Highsmith, Gregory, and all the young ones are just so cute and adorable. And you really do get the sense that they're a family. Even with Eloise, Benedict, and everybody, you really get a sense that they've been on set forever, and it feels that way. And so, other shows when they say they've been a family or they knew each other for thousands of years, like in Eternals, they say they knew each other for 1,000 years, but this, they actually feel like they've been a family and been together on set for a while. So like the dialogue between them is really sharp and I think well crafted, and honestly is pretty witty with how they speak to each other. And you really get that sense that they really are a family and they really are friends, like the Danburys and Lady Bridgerton. The way they're written and their lines are written, you really do get the sense that they've been family or friends for a while. And the acting has always been on point in Bridgerton, and as a Netflix show, this is one of the main ones that you really get to shine in. From Penelope's performance to Colin's performances, they're all really pretty good. But to me, a big standout in this was Lady Danbury is always great in every season. But Penelope's mom has wonderful scenes in this season. She deserves some award for this season. I don't know. She carries, like, seriously. Some of her scenes are so powerful. You really get that deep emotional connection that she has and how she feels like. And Penelope's greatest villain's always been her mom and her family. Like, they really are, and I guess that's society in general, because she kind of is a reject from this society. But the performances that the mom gives are really powerful in this, and I really do have come to like, she's kind of has become one of my favorite characters in this season. And the scene I'm talking about, Penelope's mom says, "Dreams, ladies don't have dreams." And man, that hits home, because that perfectly tells you everything that she really feels, and that's all about her, all really what her character's about. That in this male-dominated patriarchy, women aren't allowed to really have dreams and have their own motivations. And you see that with her. Her motivations really are just getting her kids married so they kind of fit into this society. And you see it with the other moms too. I don't know. Like I said, I think the dialogue is crafted really well. And, some of these scenes are really strong. Cinematography strong. So all those big basis points, I feel like the show is really good at. And speaking about scenes, an interesting plot point is when the dressmaker finds out that Penelope is giving up on the Whistledown mantle, and that is a pretty important, I think, a really important scene that kind of went over people's heads. Is that the Modiste being disappointed in her kind of speaks about who Penelope is and why she's so disappointed in her. So like Penelope quitting on the Whistledown mantle, like the Modiste looks up to Whistledown as this figure that's really pushing societal norms and looking out for the small man and the proletariat in this sense, right? Because she's critiquing society and it gives like a voice for the people. And then Penelope giving up on that is just like, you only cared about it just because you didn't fit into the society, right? But now you're giving up on it because you found your person, which more or less means that you didn't really care about making societal change. You're just mad that you didn't benefit from the system. So I wish they kind of explored that a little bit more, but I think it was still a pretty powerful scene in my opinion. I think a lot of people didn't talk about it enough. And I think Eloise's character would have been a perfect person to really explore that this season. And in this season, it feels like Eloise doesn't have a lot to do. So this was definitely an opportunity where she could have really pushed Penelope on this point of view. Now let's get into the negatives, which I did not like this season. And the first one's going to be undercooked storylines. This season had a lot going on, way more than past seasons, and even in Queen Charlotte, where they kind of have pretty linear storytelling. This one has a lot of jump cuts to different like B, C stories that was happening. And while they are all interesting, they're just not, I don't think they're really used that well. And they kind of hinder from the main story at times. And I don't think the endings for those storylines were even that great, honestly. So I don't think we really needed them. So one of the main ones I'm talking about right now is the Benedict and his throuple. So like, while I'm glad he's exploring sexuality, I do like Benedict as a character. He's very fun, he's witty, and has a very different personality from all the other Bridgerton brothers in the family. And the chemistry is definitely there with him, but the way they cut between his character and then Penelope's storyline is just so off-putting. Let's say we get a really strong story beat for Penelope, and then it would just cut away to Benedict having a threesome or something like that, right? And this does absolutely nothing for the story. Sure, I guess you could argue it pushes his character, but there's no connection to the main storyline, so it just feels kind of random at times. And this season could have been perfectly fine. Did not need this story at all. So I think it was more of a hindrance to just up the runtime for no reason, really. And if we're gonna have another season with Benedict, I think we could have kind of saved that for another season. I just don't think it's really needed right now, because his storyline is so completely not even related to the story at all. So I think it's better just to give his story more time and just have it used in a different season. Moving on to the Kents, while their story is pretty interesting, like I say, I feel like it can be a little stale, just because they already are well received by society. They have the bar, they're pretty successful, and upper class families do pretty much support them. And yeah, they have that transition of coming into wealth and hosting their own ball, but more or less it all goes pretty smoothly. There's not a lot of conflict there anyway. So it felt very undercooked. There's nothing really happening there, and I don't know. It just felt not needed. And the fact that there's really no conflict whatsoever with them moving on. I guess they had to impress the queen, sure, but she was pretty impressed. I don't know. I think it would have been more interesting if she wasn't impressed, actually. And then they have to find a different way to kind of really prove themselves that they can fit into this new life. But like I said, it just felt a little just up the stakes more. I do actually like the Kilmar and Francesca storyline. I think it does play well into Lady Danbury's brother and Lady Bridgerton's story. So I like the fact that Lady Bridgerton is not able to really have time for her own relationship, because she's so preoccupied with her kids and getting married and getting her daughter Francesca married, that she's not really able to really care for herself. And it kind of speaks to society's values. So I think it plays pretty well, and the way it's written, I do think that maybe they'll do a Queen Charlotte season 2 with because it puts a lot of emphasis on Danbury's backstory again. So if they do a Queen Charlotte season 2, I expect that to be more in the fold, even though I do think Lady Danbury's brother was even a thing until this season. But I'm not going to nitpick. I think that's fine. And I think the chemistry is also pretty strong, so it gets a pass. Okay, let's talk Colin and Penelope, or Pollen as some people are calling them. I think the second part does a better job of writing surrounding them, as when Colin finds out Penelope is whistled down, he is actually pretty set back by it, and he actually really is bothered by it. But their relationship doesn't have the same ring as past relationships has had in previous seasons, and I think part of it is a chemistry thing, but also it just feels really rushed to me. And they don't really feel like those childhood friends turn lovers, lovers turn friends trope. I don't think it's as done well. I feel like it's a flashback that would have showed them to get Penelope's initial love for him in the past, growing up, would have really worked well. But it's not really there. And then a whole thing with Lord Debling. Lord Debling should have been more of a rival, I think, for Colin, because I do like that she did have an actual general love interest coming into it. So if you actually have that rivalry, it would have really put the stakes higher for Colin. But it's kind of undercooked, and then after one episode, she just falls head over heels over Colin. So I don't know. To me, it just really doesn't have that intensity that it should have had. Now let's talk about the lack of consequences. My problem with the finale is that Whistledown gets revealed and there's no real consequences for it. Like, yes, Colin was rocky about it from the start, but he had he comes over eventually. But then the rest of the town and the families don't really seem to be bothered by it. Sure, Penelope's mom was a little like down about it at first, but then she was really proud for her because she does want to see her daughter win. But the rest of the town doesn't really seem to care. Even the queen doesn't really seem to care after. Like, this is somebody who's writing gossip and kind of undermining your power for, I'm assuming for at least a year or two. I'm not sure what the timeline is, but and the queen is kind of characterized to be at least a little threatened by Whistledown at this point. So there's no real stakes or consequence for catching her, really. Instead is admiration. While there can be admiration for, you know, the brilliance, I guess, of creating something like Whistledown and winning the people over, there still isn't any real consequence for Penelope for being Whistledown and spreading rumors. Maybe next season we'll see like the town's negativity towards her, like the town's negative perception of Penelope. But even I expected Lady Bridgerton to be a little off-putted by it, but no, Colin claims that the mom's actually admires her about it, and which I think is just a little unrealistic, and I think it's just out of character for even the queen too. It makes the story feel a little weak and, like I said, kind of undercooked. But also, let's get to like just some inconsistencies. Like, how did Cowper really figure out the whole Whistledown thing before the queen did, right? Cowper's whole thing is that it's so like an ex machina how she can just go to the factories. She's like, oh, maybe I'll go to the factories where they print papers. The queen didn't think about that. This is a character supposed to be like pretty stupid too, but she kind of makes everyone looks dumb in the process. How did the queen not even think about going to the factories to check for the writings? There's only like 5. There's only so many apparently. And so if you were the queen, wouldn't that be like one of the first things you checked? But no. I mean, the only reason why Cowper even finds out Penelope's Whistledown is just because conveniently the person she talks to just spills the beans about red hair. Other than that, she would have never known, which is dumb. I just think there's definitely a better writing choice for her to figure out who Whistledown was instead of just having the one worker conveniently just spill everything to her. I think it's lazy, and it just kind of makes the story a little boring. We're also kind of making the queen a dumber character in the process. Overall, like this season, I think the second half was definitely better than the first half. But naturally, that's how it would be, right? With the climax and rising actions really coming forward now in the second half, and the exposition of really the first half. But this season is still definitely the worst season by far, like bar none. I think the main plot is a little weaker, definitely the weakest as it's been, and all the subplots, while interesting, I think the writers struggled to really give characters to manage the variety of characters we have now. Eloise basically does nothing this season, and she's not given enough to do. The Kilmartins and the Francesca storyline is pretty interesting, and the other ones are, I think, just lackluster at this point. And all the inconsistencies I mentioned before, I think, hurt the story. And I'm not even trying to be CinemaSins, but come on, like, there's not even a slap on the wrist. There's no, there's no stakes this season like there really were in past seasons, like even season 2, which I think is the best season by far, or even Queen Charlotte. And I think since the story is rushed, it does hurt Colin and Penelope's relationship, and at times this feels like a Wattpad like flick, like a Wattpad story, honestly. Guys, I finally did hit 50 subs. I want to say thank you so much. This is a pretty big milestone for me, even though I'm a pretty small creator. I'm just getting started. If you guys did like this video, please like and subscribe, and we're only going up from here, so thank you for all the support. Please follow the TikTok. I'll have it linked in the description. And so the next series we'll be covering will be House of the Dragon and The Boys season 4. Already pretty caught up with those. I just gotta drop videos for them. I am still trying to release videos weekly, but I do work a 9 to 5, so things are tough. Anyway, with that, guys, please take care. Thank you so much. Till next time.